I'd like to go over this question on solving a system of equations using the substitution method. So I'm going to begin by labeling my two equations. This is my first equation, x plus 9y equals 32. I'm going to label that as equation 1. And my second equation is 2x plus 6y equals 16. I'm going to label that as equation 2. And with the substitution method, what we do is we solve for a variable in either of these equations and substitute that into the other equation so that we have an equation and one variable that we can solve for. So looking at this first equation, I can see that if I solve for x, it will be less complicated since x has a coefficient of 1. So my strategy here is going to be solve equation 1 for x. And so here's my equation, x plus 9y equals 32. I'm going to subtract 9y from both sides of this equal sign. And I end up with x is equal to negative 9y plus 32. This is now equation 1. Rearranged, solve for x. Now my strategy is to take this equation that is solved for x and substitute it into the other equation. So where I see x in this equation, I'm going to substitute in this statement, negative 9y plus 32. All right, so I'm going to substitute x is equal to negative 9y plus 32, which is equation 1, into equation 2. All right, let me rewrite equation 2. Equation 2 is 2 times x plus 6y equals 16. So instead of writing x here, I'm going to write this statement since x is negative 9y plus 32. So here goes the substitution. Let me just highlight this a little bit. So right here is where I'm going to do my substitution. Okay. So this is going to be 2 times negative 9y plus 32 plus 6y equals 16. So this is where I substituted x equals negative 9y plus 32 into equation 2. Now I have this equation in terms of one variable, y, which I can solve for. So I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to use the distributive property here. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18y plus 2 times 32 is 64. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 32 to 64 plus 6y equals 16. I'm going to combine like terms now. So I have a negative 18y and a positive 6y. So that's going to be a negative 12y plus 64 equals 16. And again, I'm trying to solve for y, so I'm going to subtract 64 from both sides. Bring down my negative 12y here, and 64 minus 16, or negative 64 plus 16 is a negative 48. And I can divide both sides by a negative 12. And when we do this simplification, we end up with y is equal to a negative 48 divided by negative 12 is a positive 4. So I solve for one of the variables. Now what I can do is substitute this value of y into either of these equations and solve for x. So I know that y is 4. So I'm going to clear this out. And we're going to substitute y is equal to 4. And we can substitute it into either equation 1 or equation 2 and solve for x. Okay, so let's just go ahead and use the first equation. We have x plus 9y equals 32. I'm going to substitute y is 4 here. And we'll get x plus 9 times 4 equals 32. So this is x plus 36 equals 32. If I subtract 36 from both sides, I end up with x is equal to negative 4. So we have solved our system. We found the x coordinate is negative 4 and the y coordinate is 4.